Let's make a star. Let's take a closer look at this block before we start. Sometimes we like to call this an astronomy lesson. The six-pointed star is made from three basic units. You have two unit 1s, two unit 2s, and two unit 3s. All these units are made, trimmed down, and then assembled, and then the block is trimmed. So we'll take you through all of these steps. Let's get started by looking at the sizing chart that's included in your instructions. For today's demo, we're going to be making an 8-inch block. The first thing we want to do is cut the star points, or sometimes people refer to them as the diamonds. Look at the column that'll tell you the strip width for the star point. You can see for the 8-inch, we need a 2 3/4 inch strip. The next column over will tell you the approximate number of star points you'll be able to get from a width of fabric strip. Position the strip in front of you on a cutting mat, and then align the edge of the tool or the 1/4 inch seam line on the tool with the edge of the fabric. You're going to make that first cut to get the angled edge that will start the cutting of your star points. Next, you're going to want to rotate the strip, and then use a standard ruler to cut the star points. Now that width of the star point is going to be the same as the width of the strip. Since we're making the 8-inch block today and our strip width was 2 3/4 inch, we're going to align the 2 3/4 line on the ruler and then make a cut. Then you're going to continue to do that. Place your ruler, make a cut. Place the ruler and make a cut. Left-handers, you do the exact same thing. You keep cutting of the strip until you have all the star points that you need. Now that the star points are cut, let's work on unit 1. For this section, we're going to put the unit 1 in the upper right corner so you can remember what unit we're working on. Let's go back and look at the sizing chart. Again, for the 8-inch finished block. And now go over to the column that is labeled background strip width, unit 1. And you will see that we need a 3 1/4 inch width strip to make unit 1 background. Once again, the next column over will give you the approximate number of pairs of unit 1 triangles you can get from a strip. Because as you can see, you need 2 background triangles for every unit 1. Lay the unit 1 background strip on your cutting mat. And let's take a second and look at the tool. If you hold the tool with the point going down, you'll see a horizontal line right through the center called the background trim line. We're going to use that today to cut these triangles. Position that trim line on the edge of your fabric and make an angled cut. Then rotate the tool, position it on the strip, and cut a triangle. Take a pin and mark the straight of the grain of the fabric. This will ensure that we have a good stable block when we're finished. Continue to rotate the tool and cut triangles. Left-handers, you'll position the tool as seen here to make your first cut. And then again, rotate the tool, cut a triangle, mark the straight of the grain, and continue cutting until you have all the triangles you need for your project. To assemble a Unit 1, position one triangle to the left of the star point. Pay attention to where that pinned edge is. Place the star point and the triangle right sides together, offset by about 1/4 of an inch. This will give you the most efficient use of fabric. Stitch with a confident 1/4 inch, and then we're going to press toward the star point. Next, we're going to position the other background triangle on the right-hand side. Again, right sides together with a 1/4 inch offset. Stitch and press. This time you will be pressing towards the triangle. Now we're going to talk about making Unit 2 and Unit 3. Once again, let's look at the sizing chart. Remember, we're working on the 8-inch block. And let's go find the column that says background strip width for Unit 2 and 3. And you'll see you need, for this example, a 2 3/4 inch wide strip. You're then going to need to subcut that into rectangles. And the next column tells you that you need a 2 3/4 inch by 6 inch rectangle. And finally, the approximate number of rectangles you would get from a strip is in the last column. Position a pair of rectangles on your cutting mat, right or wrong sides together. Let's look at the tool again. Remember the background trim line that we just used. And then also on the background trim line, there are block size number tick marks. We're going to use those to position the tool to cut the Unit 2 and 3 rectangles. Position the tool so that the background trim line lines up with the top edge of the rectangle, and the tick mark for the size block you are making is on the left edge. Again, we're using the 8 for today's sample. Then we're going to cut. Left-handers, you're going to position the tool on the bottom and right-hand side of the rectangles. And then we're going to make your cut. Separate the rectangles and turn them right side up. You now have trapezoids for Unit 2 and Unit 3. Let's set Unit 3 aside for now and work on assembling Unit 2. Spin the Unit 2 trapezoids so they're arranged as shown, with the large trapezoid on top and the small on the bottom. Pair the small trapezoid with a star point. Place right sides together with a 1/4 inch offset. Stitch with a confident 1/4 inch seam, and then we're going to press towards the trapezoid. Next, pair the large trapezoid with the unit you just stitched. Right sides together, 1/4 inch offset, stitch with a 1/4 inch seam, and then press towards the star point. As a reminder, there is an at-a-glance sheet of these steps with the pressing available to download on the website. Don't worry if your points aren't clean. If the back doesn't square up, we're going to be trimming all of this in a little bit. Now let's take the Unit 3 piece you had set aside. Position that as shown, with the large on top and the small on the bottom. Once again, we're going to pair that small trapezoid with the star point, put right sides together with a 1/4 inch offset, stitch with a 1/4 inch seam, and then we're going to press towards the star point. Position the large trapezoid on top of the stitched unit. Place right sides together, again with a 1/4 inch offset. Stitch and press towards the trapezoid. Now it's time to trim all those units so that the points are all the exact same size. We're going to be trimming all the units, the unit 1, 2, and 3. And to do this, we're going to use the star trim down section of the tool. Place the unit right side up on the cutting mat. Position the tool so that the star trim down section aligns with the stitched seam of the block you're making. In this example, we are making an 8-inch block. A hint is that all the even numbers, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, are solid lines, and the odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, are dashed lines. Trim both sides. Don't worry about trimming the back end of the star point. That'll be done after all the points are assembled into a block. Use the same method to trim all the unit 1, 2, and 3s. Now we get the fun part of positioning the units to form the star block. Unit 1, 2, and 3. Pair Unit 1 and 2 right sides together, nest the seams, match the star points, and stitch. Press your seams open. Pair Unit 3 with the unit you've just stitched, right sides together, matching the star points and nesting the seams. Stitch with a 1/4 inch and press it open. Repeat, stitching together another unit 1, 2, and 3 to make a second half star. Stitch the 2 half stars together, matching the points, nesting the seams, press it open, and you have a finished block. Let's get your tool out and we'll be ready to trim. Let's compare the block and your tool for your final trim. Your block trim guidelines on your tool match the top of the Unit 1 star point. I'm using the number 8 guidelines because I'm making an 8-inch block. You also have horizontal lines that will align with the top of the Unit 2 and 3. And the final check you have is the star point center circle, which is on your tool, which will go over the center of your star block. Position your block so that the unit 1 is pointing up. Align the block with the trim guidelines and the center point, and then trim 2 sides. Rotate your block to trim the other 2 sides. See, your trimmed edges are in the bottom left. Align the block with those trim guidelines again. Check the center circle, and also that your trimmed edges line up with the lines on the tool for the size block you're making. Trim the remaining 2 sides. Congratulations, you have a fully trimmed 6 1/2 block. As a reminder, we do have downloadable directions on the website, some of these picture boards, and as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thanks.